It's only by saying no that you can concentrate on the things that are really important. Steve Jobs. And it's so true. In your journey to success, you will tempted to say yes to so many things that don't really matter. The things that only average in your mind. But oftentimes we don't pay attention enough. And we say yes to those things consciously or unconsciously. Let's say for that job, you've been looking for a job for a long time. And you know in your mind exactly what you actually want. Since it's been a while, you're waiting to get that job. And there are several mediocre jobs that you can easily get it. And oftentimes, we say yes to those average jobs and we rationalize with ourselves that, hey, I can just say yes to this job now, and when the right job, when the great job comes later, I can just say no to this job and say yes to that. It makes sense when you say that, but it doesn't always work like that in real life. If you really pay attention, you will notice that the more time and effort you invest in this mediocre job, the harder for you to say no later. It's like in my life. There are several times that when I did exactly the same thing like this, and I may fall into this trap again later in my life. But at least now I have an awareness that if I say yes to this mediocre jobs right now, it will be harder for me to leave this job later. When we invest too much time and effort into this one, this job soon becomes our comfort zone. And we don't want to leave our comfort zone. We don't want to leave our safety net. Hey, if I leave this job, where is the bill come from? Where's the next direct deposit in my bank account? I don't know where's my next paycheck will come if I leave this job. You see what happens? It's easy to say no to average jobs when you already have a great job. But life doesn't work that way. It's often tempted you when you are in a moment of weakness. When you don't have what you want yet, that's what life will test you. To see if you actually want it bad enough, like you said you wanted. It's like you're asking for $100, but it's been a while since you're waiting for that $100 bill, and then life gives you a $50 bill. Will you say yes to $50 bill, or will you wait for that $100 bill? And I know it's hard. The same thing applies with relationship. We have to be willing to say no to that average relationship. Many times I met girls, and they often don't meet to my standards. But it's been a while and I have been single for so long. It is very tempted to talk myself into settle for this one average girl. It's hard to hold on for the things that you wanted. But you and I, we must willing to say no to the average things. Because I know for sure that if I say yes to this average girls, and I rationalize with myself that hey, later if I find a better girls, I will just say no to this one. But it doesn't work that way. If I invest too much time and effort to this one particular girl, it will be so hard to leave later because it becomes my comfort zone, and I don't want to leave my comfort zone. It's so important that we must willing to say no to the average things. And remember, life will test you when you are in a moment of weakness. When you have been waiting for that dream girl for so long, that's when they will test you. But you must have the courage to say no to that. Because remember, you don't sign up for the mediocre relationship. You sign up for greatness, and you want the best. And remember, you deserve the best. The same thing applies to friendship. Well, oftentimes we hang out with a group of friends for so long, but deep down in our soul, we know that they no longer align with our dreams. They no longer align with our goals, and we need to say no. But it's not that easy to leave that group of friends because it is our comfort zone. It is our safety. It's certain. It's scary to leave this group of friends because we don't know if we find anybody else better. And oftentimes, because of the fear, we often talk ourselves into settle for this mediocre friendship. You see how dangerous that is? Once we invest too much time and effort into something that we don't even pay attention to, it will be so hard to leave later. That is the true problem with the mediocre things. Right? In the moment at the beginning, it doesn't seem to be harmful as much. But the price will come later. The cost will come later. That's what we need to be aware of. Mediocre things don't seem that bad right now, but the cost will come later. It will cost you a lot later. It's easy to say no when we already have everything, when we are already enough, when we have everything we ever wanted. But it's hard to say no when we don't have what we want yet. And that's what's important to notice when you are in a moment of weakness, to know that, hey, I need to stay strong. I need to have the courage to say no, because that's when life often tests you. I know it's hard to wait for the best, but you won't get to the best if you keep saying yes to the average. You said you wanted to be healthy, to eat healthy food, but guess what? When you are really hungry and your friend or your wife brings you that huge delicious burger, can you really say no to that? That's what you and I need to be aware of. It is in the moment of weakness that we need to muster the strength, the courage to say no to the things that no longer serve us. We must be willing to walk away from the mediocre things. It makes sense when I say that we need to walk away from mediocre things. But in practice, when it comes to that point, it won't be easy. So you need to pay attention. You need to be aware of what are the mediocre things in your life, so that when it comes to that point, you can say no to it and say yes to that one thing that really truly matters to you. Most people stay for the average things because it's easy in the moment. It is certain. It is comfortable. It is their safety net. They don't want to leave that safety net because it's so scary, it's so dangerous for them to leave that safety net, to leave that security. But that's not for you and I. Remember, we are a fearless warrior. We are here for greatness. We are here to go for our dreams and our purpose. And that means to have the courage to say no to the things that don't matter. To say no to the mediocre things, to say no to that average things, that average job, that average relationship, that average house, that average place. It all comes down to one particular question. Do you really want it bad enough? If so, then you must be patient. Patient to take action while you're waiting for the things that really matter in your life. And have the discipline, have the courage to say no to anything that doesn't serve you. That's all I have for you, my friend. And my hope for you is that when you are tempted to say yes to that mediocre thing, I hope you have the courage to say no to that. And I know it's not easy in the moment, but your future self will very, very appreciate the strength to say no to that thing today. So stay focused. Say no to distraction. Say no to average things. Trust yourself. You have the strength. You have the courage within you. I hope you enjoy this episode and got some value out of this. appreciate your reviews. That will help me reach out more to the world. And until next time, thank you.